Hello, and welcome to Cindy's Corner. Today, boys and girls, if you've got the book Crow Call, it is a great book. Go get it so you can follow along. It is a 3-2. So all of my second and third graders out there, you can AR test on this one that you were read to. It's the Crow Call. You're going to love it. Have you ever been a little nervous because you're around somebody and you haven't been around them in a long time? Let's check out. This is based on a true story. And so listen to and follow along as to where has he been? Crow Call. Author, Lois Lowery. Illustrator, Bagram Ibatolin. It's morning, early, barely light, cold for November. At home in the bed next to mine, Jessica, my sister, still sleeps. But my bed is empty. I sit shyly in the front seat of the car next to the stranger who is my father. My legs pulled up underneath the too large wool shirt I am wearing. I practice his name to myself, whispering it under my breath. Daddy, Daddy. Saying it feels new. The war has lasted so long. He has been gone so long. Finally, I look over at him timidly and speak aloud. Daddy, I say, I've never been hunting before. What if I don't know what to do? Well, Liz, he says, I've been thinking about that, and I've decided to put you in charge of the crow call. Have you ever operated a crow call? I shake my head. No. It's an art, he says. No doubt about it. But I'm pretty sure you can handle it. Some people will blow and blow on a crow call, and not a single crow will even wake up or bother to listen, much less answer. But I really think you can do it. Of course, he adds, chuckling. Having that shirt will help you. My father had bought the shirt for me in town to buy groceries. He had noticed my hesitating in front of Cronenberg's window. The plaid hunting shirts had been in the store window for a month. The popular red and black and green and black ones toward the front. Clothing mannequins holding duck decoys. But my shirt, the rainbow plaid, hung separately on a wooden hanger toward the back of the display. I had lingered in front of Cronenberg's window every chance I had since the hunting shirts had appeared. My sister had rolled her eyes in disclaim. Daddy, she pointed out to him as we entered Cronenberg's, that's a man's shirt. The salesman had smiled and said dubiously, I don't quite think. You know, Lizzie, my father had said to me as the salesman wrapped the shirt, Buying this shirt is probably a very practical thing to do. You will never outgrow this shirt. Now, as we go into the diner for breakfast, the shirt unfolds itself downward until the bottom of it reaches my knees. From the bulky thickness of rolled back cuffs, my hands are exposed. I feel totally surrounded by shirt. My father orders coffee for himself. The waitress asks, "What about the boy? What does he want?" My father winks at me, and I hope that my pigtails will stay hidden inside the plaid wool collar. Holding my head very still, I look at the menu. At home, my usual breakfast is cereal with honey and milk. My mother keeps honey in a covered silver pitcher. There's no honey on the diner's menu. What's your favorite thing to eat in the whole wide world? Asked my father. I smile at him. Cherry pie. I admit, if he hadn't been away for so long, he would have known. My mother had even put birthday candles on a cherry pie on my last birthday. It was a family joke in a family that hadn't included Daddy. My father hands back both menus to the waitress. 3 pieces of cherry pie, he tells her. 3? She looks at him sleepily, not writing the order down. You mean 2? No, he said. I mean 3. 1 for me with black coffee, and 2 for my hunting companion with a large glass of milk. She shrugs. We can eat quickly. Watching the sun rise across the Pennsylvania farmlands. Back in the car, I flip my pigtails out from under my shirt collar and giggle. Hey boy, my father says to me in an imitation of the groggy waitress's voice. You sure can eat all that cherry pie, boy. Just you watch me. Lady, I answered in a deep voice, pulling my face into stern, serious lines. We laugh again, driving out into the gray-green hills of the early morning. It's not far to the place he has chosen, not long until he pulls the car to one side of the empty road and stops. Grass, frozen after its summer softness, crunches under our feet. The air is sharp and supremely clear, free from the floating pollens of summer. And our words seem etched and breakable on the brittle stillness. I feel the smooth wood of the crow call in my pocket, moving my fingers against its warmth, memorizing its ridges and shape. I stomp my feet hard against the ground, now and then, as my father does. I want to scamper ahead of him like a puppy, kicking the dead leaves and reaching the unknown places first. But there is an unnecessary feeling along the edge of my back at the thought of walking in front of someone who is a hunter. The word makes me uneasy. Carefully, I stay by his side. It is quieter than summer. There are no animal sounds, no bird waking noises. Even the occasional leaf that falls within our vision does so in silence, spiraling slowly down to blend in with the others. But most leaves are already gone from the trees. Those that remain catch there by accident, waiting for the wind that will free them. Our breath is steam. Daddy, I asked shyly, were you scared in the war? He looks ahead, up the hill, and after a moment he says, yes, I was scared. Of what? Lots of things. Of being alone. Of being hunt. Of hunting someone else. Are you still? He glances down. I don't think so. Those kinds of scares go away. I'm scared sometimes, I confide. He nods unsurprised. I know, he said. Are you scared now? I start to say no. Then I remember the word that scares me. Hunter. I answer, maybe a little. I look at his gun, his polished wax prized, and then look at him. He nods, not saying anything. We walk on. Daddy? He is watching the sky, the trees. I wish the crows didn't eat the crops. They don't know any better, he says. Even people do bad things without meaning to. Yes, but I pause and then say what I've been thinking. They might have babies to take care of. Baby crows. Not now, Liz. Not this time of year, he says. By now their babies are grown. It's a strange thing, but by now they don't even know who their babies are. He puts his free arm on my shoulders for a moment, and their babies grow up and eat the crops too, I say, and sigh, knowing it to be true and unchangeable. It's too bad, he says. We begin to climb the hill. Can you call anything else, Daddy? Or just crows? Sure, he says. Listen. Moo. That's a cow call. Guess the cows didn't hear it, I tease. Well, of course. Sometimes they choose not to answer. I can do tigers too. Ah, so can I. And bears. Better watch out now. Bears might come out of the woods on this one. Grrr. You think you're so smart doing bears? Listen to this. Giraffe call. He stands with his neck stretched out, soundless. I try not to laugh, wanting to do rabbits next, but I can't keep from it. He looks so funny with his neck pulled away from his shirt collar. and a condescending, poised giraffe look on his face. I giggle at him, and we keep walking to the top of the hill. From where we stand, we can see almost back to town. We can look down on our car and follow the ribbon of the road through the farmlands until it is lost in trees. Dark roofs of houses lay scattered, separated by pastures. "Okay, Lizzie," says my father, "this is a good place. You can do the crow call now." I see no crows. For a moment, the fear of disappointing him struggles with my desire to blow into the smooth, polished tip of the crow call. But I see that he's waiting, and I take it from my pocket, hold it against my lips, and blow softly. The harsh, muted sound of a sleepy crow comes as a surprise to me, and I smile at it, at the delight of having made that sound myself. I do it again, softly. From a grove of trees on another hill comes an answer from a waking bird. Just one, and then silence. Tentatively, I call again, more loudly. The branches of a nearby tree rustle, and crows answer, fluttering and calling crossly. They fly briefly into the air, and then they settle on a branch. 3 of them. "Look, Daddy," I whisper. "Do you see them? They think I'm a crow." He nods, watching them. I move away from him and stand on a rock on the top of the hill and blow loudly several times. Crows rise from all the trees. They scream with harsh voices, and I respond, blowing again and again as they fly from the hillside in circles, dipping and soaring, landing speculatively, lurching from the limb in the afterthought, and then settling again, and resolute and disgruntled shrieks. "Listen, Daddy, do you hear them? They think I'm their friend. Maybe their baby, all grown up." I run about the top of the hill and then down through the frozen grass, blowing the crow call over and over. The crows call back at me, and from all the trees they rise, from all the hills. They circle and circle, and the morning is filled with the patterns of calling crows as I look back, still running. I can see my father sitting on a rock, and I can see he is smiling. My crow calling comes in shorter and shorter spurts as I become breathless. Finally, I stop and stand laughing at the foot of the hill, and the noise from the crows subsides as they circle and settle back in the trees. They are waiting for me. My father comes down the hill to meet me coming up. He carries his gun carefully. as though I am grateful to him for not using it. I feel that there is no need to say thank you. Daddy knows this already. The crows will always be here, and they will always eat the crops. And some other morning, on some other hill, a hunter, maybe not my daddy, will take them. I blow the crow call once more to say good morning and goodbye and everything that goes in between. Then I put it into the pocket of my shirt and reach over out of my enormous cuff and take my daddy's hand. Isn't that a good book? Now, boys and girls, this is the little girl. This is Lois Lowery as a child, wearing the plaid shirt featured on this book of the Crow Call. She says, the details of this story are true. This happened in 1945, way before me, to me and my father. But my parents and children are groping toward understanding each other. That happens to everyone. And to this story is not really just my story, but everyone's. Because you have to learn about each other. Who are you learning about today? Make sure to tell me in your comments. Share with me if you took an AR test. And leave me some comments about, have you ever gone crow hunting? I can't wait for the next book on Cindy's Corner. Make sure if you haven't subscribed, you subscribe. That's very important so that you won't miss a book on Cindy's Corner. Have a great day.